Welcome everyone to our daily market analysis call in order to prepare for April 28th, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, especially in the kind of markets that we are getting these days. So please be careful with your money. I highly recommend trading a small size or demo. And if you have questions about your individual needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. Okay, let's move on to, let's start with our Forex factory. Let's go take a look at what's going on, and then we'll move on to the charts. The big thing today was ECB. ECB was not as positive as some people had expected them to be. They did not talk about cutting back the asset purchase program. That's one of the things that some ECB members had commented, saying European Central Bank may be looking at cutting those that program back. However, Draghi basically came out and said that they are not looking to do that anytime soon. That program will continue into the end of 2017 and maybe longer. So that totally negated what the market was expecting. And as a result of that, we saw the euro drop. And another thing, they also said that they're not looking to raise interest rates either at this point. And I guess in one way it is expected, because we do have French elections coming up. Even though Macron has won the first round, the threat is, or the risk hasn't gone yet. We still have more results or another round to go through. So there is that. However, based on their comments, it did not seem like they were really looking to raise rates or cut back on the asset purchase program. Another thing that they mentioned was that was inflation, CPI numbers. They said that bank is not seeing the inflation numbers that they would like to, and they are still concerned about inflation. They pretty much every central bank wants inflation to be around 2%, and they're not seeing that yet. So that's another risk they are concerned about. So at this point, because of what was said, we did see the euro drop. Other than that, we didn't have much news. We had unemployment claims out of the US. We had negative number. It was 241,000 expected versus we got 257K. And also durable goods orders, these ones dropped to half. So that was not positive either. Overall though, trade balance was kind of in line, but nothing else. So we have pending home sales is negative as well. So it looks like the data that we've been seeing out of the US is not as positive as it was looking before. So we'll have to keep that in mind as we trade. So going into tomorrow, we have German retail sales for the UK session, and we have Spanish flash GDP. Most importantly here, we have Swiss National Bank. Chairman Jordan is speaking, so Swiss franc will be impacted. And going into at 4:30 a.m. Eastern, we have preliminary GDP numbers out of UK. That will be important. And then we have CPI numbers for the Eurozone. So overall, essentially, there's lots of news in the UK session. Going into the US session here, we have GDP numbers for Canada, and we have advanced GDP numbers for the US. So both of those, it's a lot of GDP numbers coming out tomorrow. So all of those will be important. And later on, we have Chicago PMI, consumer confidence number, and then we have a couple of Fed members speaking tomorrow. Another thing to keep in mind about tomorrow is it's also the last day of the month, so month end. And sometimes we tend to see opposite moves on at month end, and the reason for that is that the larger traders, they need to close their trades to book profits at month end. So sometimes we'll see these trades, especially when you've had some really good trending moves, we'll see a completely opposite move at month end. So keep that in mind. If larger traders are taking profits, it will produce trades in the opposite direction. So bear that in mind. So let's go take a look at the charts here. Let's start with Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar is interesting here. We did gap up and then we pushed up slightly higher into this support and resistance 109.50 level. But for the last few days, this whole week, we have been trading in that range. And now we are towards the end of this range. So every single day, pretty much, we have traded the range. Now we would be looking for a break out of the range. So if the price breaks out of this range at 108.50 right here, if it breaks below, we do have this gap that's open. So this gap could get filled, which means we could get a move back towards this 107.80 level, or even lower into this level right here. So one of these levels. So that will be a big move, but at this point, like 107.80 level is likely. But we have to wait for this level to break. And once this level breaks, we are waiting for something like this. Level breaks, does a back test, and then a drop right into this. There's a big pin right here. So that could be a good target for that particular move. But I would recommend not getting ahead of this and waiting for the price to break below 108.50, because it hasn't for the last few days. So if it doesn't, so let's say the price does not do that, in that case, we are back into a range bound market, and then we'd be looking for this type of a move back into the top, and if it goes to the top, we're looking for a move to the downside. So really the move is to sell the top, buy the bottom. That will be the move unless it does a clear break, does a back test, and then a drop. So that's the second option. So one of those two options is what we're looking for euro dollar. Going into the pound here, pound looks quite bullish. It is into the resistance area right here. So this is very similar to dollar CAD here, where we are into resistance right here. So there's a lot of resistance right here. And same thing for pound dollar. Overall, pound is positive ever since Prime Minister Theresa May called for elections in June. This has been very positive. So we have filled this whole move now, and now we are into this resistance. So at this level, again, we have two options here. If we don't break this high, this was the high we had talked about in last night's call. We were looking for price to go into the high. So far, price hasn't broken the high, and we could get, so depending on how price reacts tomorrow, we could get one of these touches and then a move back into this into the range and towards the bottom of the range. So both euro and pound, they both have been range bound this entire week. So we could get one of these moves. That's one scenario. Another one is that pound gets tired of staying at this level, and as a result of that, we see the pound finally break through to this level, come back to there's a back test, and then another move to the upside to 130.50. But at this point, it has stayed in this range all week. So either we are likely to see a good drop here back into towards the bottom of the range, or we're just going to see price take off to the upside. So those are one of the two scenarios. I was expecting, or I was looking for a move test of this high, especially when it held. I was looking for a move to the downside, which is just been playing around with. So this is the 1 hour that we are looking at here. As you can see, price just played around with this for hours, and I was looking for a drop. It just came back into this S1 level, didn't really go anywhere. So now it's trying to come back. It'll be key to see what happened. So this is the high, and see how price just got stuck here. So that's why I was looking for price to come down, but we haven't seen it really do much based on the 1 hour signals. We have a pin bar, but pound has been a completely different animal. Right now there's a lot of positive sentiment, but it is into resistance. So I would like to see how it does, not get ahead of this. I do not want to go long on this, especially at this level. We want to wait. So we want to wait for price to come up here, stay here, and then go to the next level if it's going to break to the upside. So we wanted to stay on the other side of it, something like that. This would work. Or the other scenario is our range bound market. Price has been range bound, and we're basically looking for a move back into this bottom of the range. See how this range has held for the whole week. So looking for price to come into this 2770 level. So that will be the second scenario. So this is very much like euro, except in this case the momentum is to the upside, whereas in euro we are looking for a move to the downside. So this is a big enough range that we, to get paid. It's 130 pips. So even catching half of this would be worthwhile, but we have to wait for it to actually either break through or come back to the bottom. Okay, dollar CAD here. Now, dollar CAD, we are stuck at this particular resistance level, 136. We have been sitting here for the last few days. We haven't really, we did do a test higher here, big range today, both ways. And the part of the problem that's going on with dollar CAD is there was a lot of chatter, a lot of comments around NAFTA. There are trade, there's tariffs placed on lumber trade, and then there were comments, there's problems with dairy products, and then there's also problems or there were comments passed around in terms of the NAFTA, renegotiating NAFTA. So that was a concern as well. Because of that, we saw a big move to the upside, and then there were comments saying that that was not going to happen. US was not going to basically get out of NAFTA. As a result, we saw a move to the downside, but it could not go below this high. See this test right here as well and over here. So it did not break below. At this point, this is very neutral candle. We are still bullish. So I would say bullish to neutral. This level, the high, could provide us a potential opportunity to sell. And if the price comes into this bottom 135.30 level, this could be a potential level to buy. So again, the trades that we would be looking for is this definitely looks like a buying opportunity unless it breaks through here. But here we could see buying, and we would have to watch how price reacts at this 36.75 level here. We could get one of these like a double top type of scenario here, and that may give us an opportunity to go short in this trade, unless it actually breaks above this level, breaks above this high. Then we have price go up again, same thing, back test, and then a move to the upside. But keep the whole month end in mind, because if people are looking to book their profits, tomorrow would be the day to do that. Aussie dollar here, we have been talking about it being short for the last few days now, and it has been dropping as expected. However, now we are into a neutral candle, and we are into this previous congestion level. Look at this congestion for quite some time. Price stayed here, and now we are back into here. At this point, this is very, I would be neutral on this. If the price stays below the 7,500, we could get a potential short, but keep in mind people who have been short here may want to book profit, so watch out for that. So this could be one of the trades, or if the price breaks through this level, could do a back test and then another drop. So I will watch out for that. But if the price breaks above the 7,500, then we could get a move to the upside here as well, and that could be on booking profits. Looking at the 1 hour, now we can see the price is pulling back. We had a pin bar here, and now price is pulling back. The first level, so 7,500, also corresponds to our R1 level. So this is a good level, and this is where we'll have to see how price reacts. If it rejects this level, if it's not able to go above, then we may see one of these moves and the price moves down again. Or if it breaks through this level, then we may see one of these and price stays above on the other side. And then we're looking for it to move back into the top of this pin or into this support and resistance area right here, 75.50 area. New Zealand US dollar, again, neutral candle. So we have wicks on both sides, small body, which makes it very neutral. We are right into this previous support and resistance area. There is openness right here, which means price could come down right into this level, 6,800. However, before it does that, it is quite likely or that it may do one of these. So it may go and test this previous support and resistance once again and then drop from there. This is where it's sitting at the moment. So it's holding below this level. If it holds below here, then it could just go from here. And then we are certainly looking for a move to the downside. But if it does a deeper pullback, we're looking into this support and resistance area right there. Let's take a look at a 1 hour chart. Here we are. So it's been a big drop all the way through. So again, for this, we could see a pullback all the way into the 69.20 area, all the way here. And if it goes above this level, then we could see it kind of pull back in this way here. Again, that could be a result of people booking profits. So we could see that move in the opposite direction. So bear that in mind. So we'll keep these levels. We have 6,800 to the downside. We could see a pullback into this level. This is where we are currently. But if it drops just below this, then 6,800 is a good target to the downside. So that's it for all our crosses that we have been monitoring. Anything else that you want to look at? All right, so that's looks like a no. So we will call it a wrap. That's it for today. And tomorrow we'll be in the, we'll do a members only webinar. So I will see you there at 9:30. Perfect. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.